What is up, everybody? This is Lyle with No Hippie Barbecue. Now, some of you guys that have been subscribed to my channel for a while have seen Helen in a couple other videos. What's up, Helen?
Hi, good to be back.
Anyway, me and Helen were talking on the phone the other day, and she was telling me about an Eastern European brisket recipe that she's been doing for a while, and I figured I might as well come on over, do a video on it, just so we can get a different perspective. I don't think I've ever seen anything like this on YouTube. So anyway, Helen, give us a little background on this brisket.
This brisket is made in it's the same recipe basically. Czechoslovakia, Russia, Germany, Hungary, all of that part of the world. It's a very basic recipe and it's very, very traditional.
Anyway, we're going to get into these ingredients. She's not really measuring this out, but I will have a recipe in the description based on what I see her put in to this brisket recipe.
That's because I don't know how to cook with recipes.
All right, we'll get you a recipe in the description. All right, Helen, what ingredients are we working with?
Lots of chopped up onions, just diced up big. Vegetable oil, garlic powder, pepper, regular red paprika, Lipton onion soup, fresh potatoes, and your beef brisket and water. That's it.
And she does have some Hungarian paprika just in case we need to add a little bit more. One ingredient that I didn't mention is we have some water that's just under boiling. Helen, take it away.
Okay. So the most important part about this is this part before we bake it. Don't worry about how much oil you need to use quite a bit of oil because you've got a lot of onions. Let that heat up, get started.
And that was about 1.5 cups of oil right there, I'd imagine. So our oil got heated up. Helen got a little ahead of the game on this. She's so excited to cook this. She already has some onions put in our pan. Go ahead and add the rest and tell us what we're doing.
Okay, so we're adding our onion. We're adding all of this paprika.
And this is a lot of paprika, guys. That's about 2 ounces right there. And we may add more.
We will add more.
I guess we will add more.
This is the most important part because this is what makes the sauce.
That's about 2 tablespoons of black pepper.
That's it.
That was about it.
Garlic powder. You can never use too much.
And that's about 4 tablespoons of garlic powder. Now what are you doing with this?
Now I'm just mixing it up, wow. And I want it to be real red and heavy in the garlic, or the paprika. And I'm just going to let it cook a little bit. I am going to add some more paprika to this. Okay, so I added a couple more, about 3-4 tablespoons there more. Okay, so you can see how red it is. Now the onions are going to caramelize about halfway. So now we have the onions in, and we've got them starting to just barely boil. Mix it up. Then I'm going to add a package of Lipton onion soup. It just has a great flavor in it. Just put this right in there. Mix it up real good. Okay. Can you imagine with all these onions how it could not be good?
That's what I'm saying.
Okay. After you've cleaned your meat really, really good, I like to put it with boiling water or very, very hot water. You put your meat in, take some of the onions.
It's probably going to be easier for me to add the water. How much water are we going to be adding?
Okay, so I want you to add just a little bit at a time.
Okay.
Okay, that's good. then you just stir it up and lift your meat up so that the water gets underneath there too. But you don't want to pour it all in because then it'll get really runny, and I don't know, it just doesn't work as well. Don't ask me why.
Any more water?
Yeah, we're going to cover it up, but not on top of the meat.
Oops.
Put it to the side of the meat, yeah. Okay. Okay, add some more water. Okay, that's it. Now you put it in your oven, cover it up. Make sure that you lift your meat up so that there's water underneath it also.
And that's enough water?
Yeah, for now it will be.
Okay, so really the whole idea of how much water you're adding is we just want to make sure that this brisket is pretty much all the way covered. There's a little bit of this brisket that's not covered, but that should be fine. Anyway, let's get our lid on it, get it in the oven. What temperature are we rolling at?
350. So the brisket has been baking. It's 3/4 cooked. I'm letting it cool off. I've peeled my potatoes, and now I've made a paste of just some salt, pepper, and paprika, and you rub it onto your potatoes and just drop that into your pan. And we're going to let those cook uncovered for about a half hour to 35 minutes, just until they're 3/4 of the way done.
And the brisket's been cooking for about 4 hours at this point.
Yeah, you know, it's been about, what, an hour a pound?
Yep.
Here, I'm just going to throw this all in. It doesn't matter. Just mix it up like this. If you notice, we didn't use salt in the sauce because you don't need it. But we do need it rubbed into the potatoes. Okay, voila. We have our potatoes back in the sauce, and we're going to put these in the oven for until they're about 3/4 done, and bake it uncovered. So now we're just going to slice it up, and you always slice it against the grain. We have it sliced. I like to put it back into the sauce, but I like to separate it just a little bit so that the juices are in between. And as it finishes up baking for about another half hour, it just marinates it amazingly good. And now we're going to put the potatoes right on top of it. And they're going to get real brown, and the flavor of the sauce is just going to seep into the potatoes, and it is so good.
So this is done now. It took about 6 hours to get finished. We're just going to plate this stuff up, try to make it look a little nice, do a little taste test, and we're out. Alright, so that is a wrap right there. Now, this is the first time I've tried this kind of a brisket, so let me just get in and see what I'm thinking. That paprika really gives it a nice depth of flavor, real kind of a rich darkness to it. Potatoes are good. Now, from what you told me, this stuff is even better the next day. So, you know, this is something to give a try. Go ahead.
And it's great warmed up for sandwiches, like on a nice rye bread with lettuce and mayo, or a bagel, whatever you like. It makes a great warm sandwich. And the next day, if you just let it sit in the pan, the seasonings and the sauce soaks into it even more, so the potatoes even have more flavor.
All right.
It's different, isn't it?
That's something to try out. I might do an actual smoke version of this. Anyway, I appreciate you guys stopping by No Hippie Barbecue. Comment, subscribe, and me and Helen are out.
Bye.